so-called guard are the long or the tall fellows. And the name already suggests that they were really rather tall. So the smallest long fellow was a mere 1 meter 86, which is not in the least bit unusual nowadays. However, the tallest long fellow was a 7-foot giant, which is quite tall even by our standards nowadays and quite unusual. As however, I'm talking about the very beginning of the 18th century, when people were more like myself on the midget side. Obviously this massive giant swarming around the king was a very intimidating, impressive sight even from afar. By the way, to the far right, that is our Funkturm, our sort of radio tower, which is half the size of its bigger brother in Paris, the Eiffel Tower. And back to what I was just talking about, of course, when the long fellows were swarming around the king, he was completely invisible, as the soldier king himself was more of a rectangular sort of person, meaning he was incredibly short and at the same time absolutely obese. Like all of his peers, he had the most terrible eating habits, and with them a quick snack lasted about 8 hours and consisted mainly of some pork with a little bacon on the side, you know. So they all had terrible gout and generally declining health, and I am not in any way trying to excuse his horrible character by saying that the poor man was constantly in pain. The more you read about him, the more you think, good. Anyway, ahead to the left you can now admire not an accident, but one more of the 8 works of art from 1987. So 2 Cadillacs covered in concrete, surrounded by those concrete shards in the ground, and they are supposed to symbolize us Berliners, and the whole thing is supposed to show how we're being crushed by too many cars and too much concrete, which by the way is total and utter rubbish, because we are by far the greenest city in the whole of Europe and managed to put Paris in the shade with great ease regarding our trees. And I'm about to show you